Newshour debate tonight. We have a few politicians who are for the talk, so they're also peaceniks in that sense. I'd like to introduce them first. Junaid Mattu of the National Conference is a peacenik. Ajay Kumar of the Congress Party is a peacenik. Samir Kaul of the PDP is also a peacenik. On the other side, we have Mahesh Jethmalani, who doesn't want the talks, Maruf, who agrees with Jethmalani, and Sushant Sareen. Meenakshi Lekhi, Member of Parliament of the BJP, represents the BJP point of view. So, Junaid Mattu, you want talks even now? After what has happened, you want the talks to continue? Or resume, or whatever you want?
Give me a moment to express my condolences to the families of our brave soldiers who have lost their lives serving the country. The police personnel as well as the civilians. This is an utterly unequivocally condemnable act, and nobody should condone it in any shape or form. Your question about talks, I have always maintained, Mr. Goswami, that talks does not imply being apologetic. Talks does not imply surrendering. Talks does not imply, appeasement. You have to talk from a position of strength. Talk to Pakistan not only about the resolution of issues, but talk to Pakistan that these incidents are unacceptable, that these incidents cannot be tolerated. Diplomacy is the only link between two hostile neighbors other than war. And I dread to say this, but I don't think war is an option.
You know, I'm so surprised sometimes, Junaid, and don't mind my saying this, but each time your line of argument sounds more and more superficial to me. What will we talk to Pakistan about is what I'd like to ask you. Trade? People are dying. You want to talk about trade with Pakistan? Visas?
No,
11 of our people have been killed. You want to talk about visas? 11 of our people have been killed. You want to talk about people-to-people contacts?
No.
You want to talk about what? Confidence-building measures?
Talk about trade at a time.
What do you want to talk about?
Soldiers have been killed.
What do you want to talk about?
Tell Pakistan that this is unacceptable.
Really? Haven't we told them many times?
Tell Pakistan we cannot tolerate this. Well, we don't have an option, do we?
You know.
I mean, the other option is war.
Sometimes
war
you should
has tremendous human cost.
Sometimes you should put national interests first. I'd like to get Sushant Sareen and Meenakshi Lekhi into the debate. You know, this kind of it can be a bookish approach, or it can be a misguided approach. But I hope it's not an ignorant approach. Meenakshi Lekhi, to those who still want talks, I'd like your view.
See, my point of view is very simple, and that is that while we conducted talks and attacks were being made on India, the only time peaceful conversation could actually happen was post-Operation Parakaram. And that is the position of strength. You convey your message. So conveying message at times, I think silence is the best language also, because silence conveys what the words cannot. And silence of India towards no talk situation is basically isolating Pakistan, and Pakistan is perturbed right now. These attacks which are happening as of now, in my assessment of things, are only going to increase and not decrease, for the simple reason ISIS is expanding its base towards South Asia, one. Two, Hafiz Saeed is having a conclave of terrorists, and certain changes which we can see around is Pakistan naval ship. There was an attempt to hijack that by none other than the naval officers within Pakistani army. So Al-Qaeda infiltration, Jamaat infiltration, etc. So army as an institution in Pakistan also stands fail today, because one doesn't know whether terrorists are controlling or the army, which is a force to protect.
Should I just open up the debate? I'm not going for initial comments of everyone. I'm opening up the debate. Who would like to come into the debate from either among the peaceniks or those who are not? Sushant Sareen wants to come in. I'm pointing out just one question tonight. Are the lives of 8 Armymen and 3 policemen and 1 civilian worth nothing for the peaceniks? Sushant Sareen.
Arnab, I think you just need to put this debate in a certain context. Number one, when we talk about talks with Pakistan, what are we talking about? We have a mission in Pakistan. The Pakistanis have a mission in India. We have official level contacts with them all the time. So in a sense, talks are happening. Now, what Mr. Mattu and others of his ilk are talking about is to take it to a political level. My problem with that is that you have already tried it a number of times in the past, and all the things which Mr. Mattu is saying that, we need to tell the Pakistanis that this is unacceptable. I'm sure the Pakistanis know it is unacceptable, and yet they continue doing what they are doing. So clearly that tack is not going to work, and it's not going to work because, frankly speaking, I'm increasingly convinced that normalization of relations with a country where the mainstream is being radicalized, I don't see how you're going to be able to normalize relations with such a country. So you really need to move on from this bit about
an open debate,
a dialogue or a political level dialogue with the Pakistanis. You need to now start working out the options. And where I disagree with Mr. Mattu is that, just between holding talks and going to war, there is a huge space in between all of that, which you need to exercise so that even if you are going to hold talks, the other side is
I'll tell you one thing. Sushant, I'm just one, by the way, it's an open debate. I want to get everyone in. Who talks of war the most? Just think of it. Who talks of war the most? You know who talks of war the most? Sushant? It's the Peaceniks who talk of war. It's the Peaceniks. It is the track 3, track 4, track 5. They talk of war the most because they want to present a scenario where not talking is equal to war. No, one second. First of all, do you admit?
Their hospitality goes for a toss. No? That's how they receive hospitality.
Yeah, they lose their hospitality. They don't get the 5-star luxuries. They won't travel around the world. Do you admit?
If silence was working, we would not have had.
Sir, Junaid, a minute. A point that needs to be made, and I am today asking this question to all those. All those people who have been part of the 5 circuit and this circuit and that circuit, and all those people who accept Pakistani hospitality, then they go for Qawwali sessions in Pakistan, and on the sidelines of 5-star lunches say, let's have a little talk about how to bring about peace, and then go back and enjoy life once again. We are funded very well. The Pakistanis are funding us. My question is very simply this, Samir call, do you realize?
I don't hold brief.
Only the Peaceniks talk about war. Because the moment the spectre of war goes away, they will lose their jobs and their livelihoods. Samir call, why are you a Peacenik? Why are you a Peacenik?
Let's get some sense. Let's get some sense into this debate.
There's enough sense into the debate. Do respond.
Sushant, Sareen, we will. I'm responding to you. I'm telling you. Is your option war?
No, who's talking of war? Option is to not talk to them. Option is to not talk to them. How is not talking to them equal war? How does not talking to them equal war? No, how does not talking to them equal war? How does not talking to them equal war? Answer my question. I'm not talking to the Pakistanis. How does it mean war?
If you don't,
I'll ignore them.
If you don't talk to them, it makes no difference anyways.
No. So I won't talk to them. Maruf.
It makes no difference anyways.
Maruf.
I'm talking about diplomatic pressure.
This is the most.
I'm talking about economic pressure. I'm talking about covert activity. I'm talking about putting democracy in Jammu and Kashmir to a certain level that you can counter the non-democratic Pakistan. Put all those things in action. While you are talking, what about diplomatic pressure? What about economic pressure? What about covert activity?
Yeah, so we won't talk.
Why are you ignoring all that?
No, we'll do all of that, but we won't talk. We won't talk to the Pakistanis. We will not talk. No, we will. No, one second. My question is to all these. There are some people.
You have to.
You see, there are some.
That and yet
listen. So, no, one second. Samir, just a minute. Samir, a minute. Can I just say something? There are some. Maruf, I'm coming to you. Just one sentence. There are some failed writers, some one-book wonders, who don't write anymore. They neither have facts nor are they journalists. They just make a living today by abusing their own country in Indian publications, ironically. I am asking all those misguided people, those ignorant people, since when Maruf does not talking equal war? I know for a long time during the Cold War, Russia, USSR and America did not talk. They were not at war. How does it mean war? It's only this Peaceniks who call it war. Maruf wants to come in. Maruf.
Then it would mean
Maruf.
maintaining status quo. And status quo means
maintain the status quo. We will not talk to you. We'll render you irrelevant.
Maruf. But people are still dying.
Arnab, we've heard.
People are dying.
We've heard both.
You've got to make
Maruf.
We've heard.
Maruf.
It's happening on our bodies.
Maruf.
Arnab, gentlemen, please give me 2 minutes. Just let me explain something. If you want peace, you must understand the causes of the conflict or the causes of the war. In this case, it is very clearly being orchestrated by the Pakistani military establishment, which is convinced, and I'm quoting recognized authors who have done a lot of research, that any peace process with India would put the Pakistani military at a huge disadvantage, whether in the political plane in Pakistan or vis-a-vis India. And they use cheap fodder, willing suicide bombers and Fidayeen attackers to accomplish their purpose of keeping Kashmir on the boil, so that the international community feels that there is an issue on Kashmir where everyone must get involved. Quite clearly, we have not explored the space, as Mr. Sareen brought out and Mr. Kaul brought out. We have not explored adequate space between not talking and going to war. There is the space where diplomatic penalties can put pain onto Pakistan, can put International Court of Justice related penalties which will make Pakistan squirm. You are wasting your time hoping that a handshake with Nawaz Sharif will lead to anything.
Yes.
He is marginalized. He has no political clout over the military which runs the Kashmir policy. Benazir Bhutto was on record. Benazir Bhutto was on record. Sir, please let me complete. Benazir Bhutto was on record to say that she was arm twisted and it was the worst mistake of her life to follow the army's policy on Kashmir. Nawaz Sharif, if he lives long enough to write his memoirs, will say the same thing. I am saying very clearly, if you wish to talk, if at any stage, please remember, you have to get those people onto the table who are orchestrating such attacks. And only then will the talk move forward, not left to diplomatic niceties, but to hard talk. You have to define your red lines. We have not defined our red lines as to what we will expect from Pakistan,
where are the Peaceniks
and how
tonight?
we will respond.
Where are the Peaceniks tonight, Maruf?
And last point, Arnab.
Where are the Peaceniks, Maruf, tonight?
Arnab, my last point, Peaceniks are not just here. Arnab, Peaceniks are not just on the Indian side. Every retired general from the Pakistan army who's out of business gets onto the track 2 circuit. When in his life did he make a pro-India statement? All of them make pro-India statements in Dubai and elsewhere, where they go and live in 5-star hotels, and then they do all kind of, pro-India and pro-Pakistan talking. The reality of the matter is, you've got to talk and talk with a position of strength to those guys who are orchestrating this anti-India campaign.
There are
Pakistan.
some. Why don't Ajay Kumar,
which don't want to talk to India.
Ajay Kumar needs to come into the debate. Mahesh Jethmalani's line is back, and Meenakshi Lekhi also has a hand up for some time. Meenakshi, coming to you, but before that, I just want to ask Ajay Kumar. Ajay Kumar, just realize this. Tonight, let's talk straight tonight. There are some out-of-work politicians in your party also. Some of them managed to get some party nomination in the Rajya Sabha. They like to make controversial comments to remain relevant. You know who I'm talking about, but they're largely out of work people. They are rejects from the political and social space. The only place where these out of work politicians from your party, and you know who I'm talking, get accepted is in this track 3, track 4, and they feel a little important. Now, my question to you is, since when, why do you let these people misguide the country by saying not talking is equal to war? We won't talk to a country that extends full patronage to terrorists. We won't talk to a country that says that we have no control over Hafiz Saeed. And why are you still a peacenik?
First question is,
why is Rahul Gandhi still a peacenik?
One sec. So one sec. I think the label is very unfortunate from your part. But first of all, and you labeled me as peacenik. So
you're not a peacenik.
Get on to what should be done. And one sec. And
are you a peacenik?
No. In the sense, one sec. Let me complete my statement. I am saying that the first important issue is that don't let the government get away because you're saying, okay, you shouldn't talk, fine. But what are you doing to ensure pressure is there on Pakistan? Did you raise it in the SARC? Did you put external, pressure? Take an example. I mean, and Meenakshi is on the. You go to the United States, you raise a lot of, hullabaloo and say that you're doing. One sec. Let me complete. What I'm saying is the number of ceasefire violations have increased to 150. The number of terrorist incidents. That means what we are doing is not working. So we are not saying talk to them, but what are you doing? Are you internationalizing the incident adequately in your favor? Are you giving data?
No. 1 second. Meenakshi will respond.
Players in the world.
Meenakshi will respond.
I'm sorry, sir.
The question is political.
We are not doing enough.
Let Meenakshi take it.
It is not that we are not doing. We are not doing enough internationally.
Again, what
Let
are you
Meenakshi
doing?
take it.
What are you doing to put pressure on Pakistan?
Absolutely
Ajay Kumar, Congress spokesperson, being taken on by BJP spokesperson Meenakshi Lekhi.
Mr. Ajay Kumar is absolutely incorrect because whenever they were talking, the casualties were far greater. And right now, the Pakistan stands isolated in various forms internationally. And what Pakistan tried to do in SARC, they never succeeded. So that is a victory for us. One, and the Pakistan government, when you talk about it's a named government.
How are they isolated? China is invested
controlling. If ISI is controlling, who are you talking to? Nawaz Sharif, you can't talk to because he has no power or no real authority. And do you want to start talking to ISIS or ISI?
No, who do you want to talk to? No, who do you want to talk to?
I want to ask you a
No, 1 second. Who do you want to talk to? Mahesh Jetbalani wants to come into the debate. No, your policy, and I've said tonight, the Congress party policy, Mahesh Jetbalani will come in, but the Congress party policy towards Pakistan has been a policy of opportunism. When you were in power, Ajay, you gave them a long rope. Now you are in the opposition. You are demanding an immediate response.
No, but
you've been opportunists on Pakistan.
Tell me something. Why, when we were in one second. Okay, tell me something. When we were in power, why was One sec, Meenakshi, let me complete. One sec, Meenakshi, let me complete. When we were in power, why was the ceasefire violations lesser? Was it more effective? Why was the incidences in the past?
Who says it was lesser? It was rising every year.
They were not.
They were rising every year.
Why is Pakistan? One sec. Let me complete. Why is Pakistan occupied?
Be factually correct.
What? Again, it's not false. It's not false. One sec. I got the data from the government website. One sec.
I'll give you the data right now.
You can't get away because the data from the government. The government website says.
No, 1 second. Ajay, Mahesh Jetbalani taking you on. Ajay, 1 second. Mahesh Jetbalani hasn't spoken yet. Mahesh Jetbalani versus Ajay Kumar.
Just
Mahesh Jetbalani, please. Let Mr. Jetbalani speak.
One information.
Let Mr. Jetbalani speak, sir.
Arnav, foreign policy and especially policy vis-a-vis Pakistan should be bipartisan. Wait a minute, Ajay, you've spoken and you said a lot right now. It should be bipartisan and we should not be indulging in petty politics and saying and distorting facts and saying there were more ceasefire violations now than there were in your time. Now let me just say this.
You kept saying during the election. No, you kept telling during elections.
What?
You kept telling during elections that एक सिपाही मरेगा 10 को मारेंगे. You said कि 56 inch का छाती चाहिए. Where is the question of bipartisan? You are telling bipartisan for whole election. You kept insulting the government of India.
Your argument.
Are you an Indian?
Ajay Sharma, your arguments are pathetic. They are street. They are meant for gully politics. They are not meant for intelligible debate. Please don't reduce it to that level. There are three reasons why.
Because
there are three. Please, Ajay, you've had your say. There's no point rabble rousing and making cheap political points. It is not even based. You are doing a great disservice to your party and the country by doing that. Let me just see. Let me.
When you did it,
we never did it.
That's funny. When you did it, it was not. No, why did you politicize the beheading of Indian soldiers?
What you haven't done.
Why did you politicize the beheading of Indian soldiers?
I will tell you what your
you did that, right?
cowardly government did not do. If you just wait and listen now.
No, one
I'll
sec.
tell you.
You tell me. You tell me who politicized the beheading of Indian soldiers.
The best time to have brought Pakistan to its knees, Ajay Kumar, was when 26/11 took place.
You should have used that to make sure that the perpetrators of 26/11, you should have said no talks unless 26/11 perpetrators are brought to book. Instead, you repeatedly talked. You talked about Hindu terrorism. You talked about Samjhauta Express, and you gave Pakistan. You gave Pakistan.
I compliment the Congress Party. I compliment the Congress Party. I'm paying you a compliment. Ajay, listen, please. Ajay, listen. Ajay, I'm paying you a compliment. Ajay, I'm paying you a compliment. Ajay, I'm paying you a compliment. And my compliment is to you for 1 second. 1 second. For perfecting your role as a spokesperson, Ajay Kumar, by executing what I can only call the greatest political somersault in the history of Indian politics, by saying today, let us be tough on Pakistan. So you say be tough on Pakistan. I want to tell you, I want to ask you, how tough were you with Pakistan? Listen to me, please, Ajay. How tough were you vis-a-vis Pakistan in September 2006 when your Candy Floss Prime Minister Manmohan Singh equated Pakistan with India as a victim of terrorism in Havana months after the July train bombings? After the Sharm el-Sheikh statement, when you mentioned Balochistan, at the SAARC summit, when you called Gilani a man of peace after the serial blast in Mumbai? No, you have an answer for me tonight? You want to tell people today, let's be tough? Why were you not tough?
Let me ask you a question.
Why were you not tough?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. No, so let me ask. No, let me ask you
what question? You answer mine.
Ask a counter question. What has happened? No, what has happened? No, what has happened? What has happened to the Bharatiya Janata Party's claim? No. So what is BJP's claim before election saying we will?
Meenakshi will respond now. Meenakshi will. Meenakshi, ask the question. Meenakshi will respond.
And who was talking to Sajad Lone? And tell me something, Arnab. Who was talking to Sajad Lone?
So
who are the guys who have been speaking to Sajad Lone?
Meenakshi responding. Ajay, please let others speak.
Who was talking to Sajad Lone?
You are talking to the separate elements in the country.
Meenakshi Lekhi is responding.
Elements in the country. Come on.
Now, the contradiction is so large. It is so writ large because Sajad Lone happens to be an Indian citizen who wants to participate in democratic process. 71 to 72% people participate in democratic process, and that is giving cold feet to Pakistanis. And he is comparing Sajad Lone with Hafiz Saeed. I mean, come on, get your facts right, mister. You don't understand the difference between a terrorist, a person who has been wrong and has chosen to tread the right path. Isn't Indian government all about mainstreaming the people?
Fantastic.
Of course, Bharatiya Janata Party is a nationalist.
By the BJP
and reform is something which even IPC recognizes. And you have been a police officer in the past who doesn't understand the punity, penalty and reformatory acts of the government.
This is
Maruf and Samir Kaul coming back to the debate, gentlemen. 1 second. Maruf, Samir Kaul, Sushant Sareen, Maruf. One at a time. I'm only saying make your points tonight. Make your points tonight. I am telling the viewers tonight, I'm summarizing what has happened today. 8 army personnel have been martyred. 3 policemen have been killed. 1 civilian have been killed. 13 civilians have been injured. Are we supposed to overlook this and go back? No, 1 second. Tomorrow in the lobbies of the 5-star hotels in Delhi, the same Peaceniks circuit will come out because that is their bread and butter. Samir, it is their bread and butter. It is their bread and butter, Samir.
On national television.
The cottage industry is their bread and butter, Samir.
Can I, on national television, accuse both the Congress and the BJP for not dealing with the situation appropriately? Because it has brought nothing but death and flow of blood on my body, the body of Jammu and Kashmir. This whole thing is being staged on my unfortunate body, and both the parties keep blaming each other and not dealing with the situation appropriately.
And you do.
They haven't brought me peace, is all I know. We have been crying for peace all this while. But there's another thing that I would like to tell them. That the strong dose of democracy that the current elections are going to infuse into the scenario.
Political statement. Irrespective of which party wins these elections, 72% people participating in democratic process is hurting Pakistan. Do you understand that? And
Yes,
this
of
is
course.
what BJP government in the center can
Not-
bring.
so-
More
so-
democratic
Just
process.
keep accusing each
Whichever
other.
party may win.
Both of you have not dealt
you
with the
know,
situation
Arna-
appropriately.
And you
I
did
would like
nothing
to
all
bring
this while
charge
you
to
were in the
media
government.
also.
Grain is
And
okay.
I would like to, we have been
says
trying, we have been
don't get
dying on the
something
ground,
again,
madam.
as long as I get
Just to
power, it's
remind
okay
you
for
that
the
we are,
country.
it is happening on my body.
You've been dying,
We
and
are
as
the ones
if
who are dying.
you've been dying
We are
alone,
throwing
and
our
the
blood.
army personnel and others have not been dying, and people across
Of course
India
they are.
have not
Of
died
course
because
they
of
are.
jihadi
They are
terrorism.
part of us.
Then how are you rating
But
Jammu and Kashmir terrorism different from
today-
rest of
but both
India?
political
Do you
parties-
understand that
Today,
the
at least Samir call, today at least stop your politics. One second. One second. I know it's the middle of your election campaign, but Samir call,
no politics at
Samir call, today stop your politics.
there is no
Your
politics at
party
all.
leader Mehbooba
There is no
Mufti, your party leader Mehbooba Mufti
of course.
has made the most outrageous comment of the entire election process today.
Of course not.
She says,
Why
she
do you
says,
find it
let me tell you
outrageous?
what she says.
Why?
Let me tell you what she says.
Of course it's
Let
true.
me tell the people what she
Of
says.
course it's true that the media campaign of pricking and provoking Pakistan every time to stage a comeback into this game.
Right.
We have been trying to promote democratic politics in the state. Because that
Maruf,
the
this
only
is
thing
really
that wins the
unfortunate.
game.
One second. Maruf wants to
Political,
respond to you. One
democratic
second.
game.
Before Maruf responds to you, before Maruf responds to you, Samir call, I want to tell the viewers. I would not. Before Maruf will respond, but before that, just give me a second. I want to tell the viewers what Mehbooba Mufti said. Just give me 15 seconds. Mehbooba Mufti says the Indian media is mad. She says the Indian media is mad. These are her words. The media is mad. And why is the media mad? Because the media is mad according to Mehbooba Mufti Maruf. She says because the media is mad because we have been running stories about the high voter turnout. No. She says, Maruf, that the media is mad because we are running stories for the high voter turnout. So Mehbooba Mufti won't question Pakistan. She'll say it's because the media spoke of the high voter turnout that the ISI has decided to attack the army camp. I have not heard a more outrageous comment in my life. Maruf.
It is already
Maruf.
already understood that
Maruf.
Pakistan has been
Maruf.
with India
Mr. Call,
in
Mr.
Jammu
Call.
and Kashmir.
Maruf Raza.
Already
Call.
understood.
Maruf Raza.
And
Mr. Call,
it is already
please give somebody else a
understood they are the
chance. Ornab, see, there are three quick points. Mr. Call, Mr. Call, please hear me
Mr.
out.
Call, let Maruf Raza speak.
Mr. Call, please. Mr. Call, don't, Mr. Call, with respect, please don't defend the indefensible. Miss Mehbooba Mufti is being rather naive and assuming that Pakistan's intelligence agencies wait for India's news media to tell them what's happening in J&K. They have their own eyes and ears. A top-class terrorist outfit doesn't wait for Indian newspapers and television reports to tell them what election voting is taking place if the tide is turning against them. All over the world, this has been the trend, and Pakistan's pretty much specialized in promoting cross-border terror. Second point, you are hoping to have talks. Please hear me, sir. Please hear me, sir. Hear me, sir.
1 minute.
Hear me out, sir.
Mr.
Call,
1 minute, let him speak.
Mr. Call, hear me out, be objective. Mr. Call, hear me out. Mr. Call, hear me out. Please listen to me. Second point. You are interrupting. Please listen to me.
Let Maruf Raza speak, please.
Mr. Call, please listen to me.
Let Maruf speak, please.
Mr. Call, I'm moving away from Mehbooba Mufti.